Hello, everybody. Today we're going to look at two private reserve inks, and I'm going to ask myself the question, do I need both of these inks? Because they're, at first glance, to the untrained eye, they would probably seem like the same ink. But if you're a fountain pen fan, you ask yourself, those are two different inks. But are they? Let's see. Anyway, so private reserve and avocado and private reserve ebony green. Um, I had bought avocado a while back, and I tried it in a pen, and I quite liked it. And then I gifted the ink to a friend, and went to buy myself another bottle of avocado, and they didn't have it in stock. And so I bought the ebony green, which I quite like too. And then somebody gave me a bottle of avocado as a gift, and it's very nice ink. But that question is, do I need both of these? Interesting question. On first glance, you can see the labels. The labels aren't exact. The avocado is lighter, of course, and the ebony green is darker. Ebony. Okay. So I have the avocado in my Pilot vanishing point, and I have the ebony green in my Pilot Prera. And I'm just going to, but they have different nibs, so I'm going to use this as a dip just to compare. I'm going to do a swatch. I'm going to look at these, and I'm going to try to figure out which one I like more. Now, Private Reserve, it's an American company, I've tried a number of their inks. I quite like them. Usually the bottles are full very much to the top. But as you can see, I've used it a bit. And I like the bottles. They're very stable. I don't worry about spilling. That's the avocado right there, which I find is a very nice. Yeah, it reminds me of an avocado. It reminds me more of spruce trees, actually, in some ways. And then the ebony green. Let's try that. Actually, let's take a look at this. I'm seeing some difference. The ebony green is quite a bit darker. I'm just going to do a little. Oh, yeah, that's quite different. It's quite different. That's almost more like almost more like a forest green in some ways. Ebony green. Of course, these are private reserve inks. And as they dry, I'm seeing characteristics in the ebony green that I like a little bit more. This is nice. Now, one thing I did notice, and actually I can see it happening here. I noticed with the avocado, I refilled the pen this morning just to try this. I was going to wash it out and try something different, but I've got ink on myself. Okay. One thing I noticed is a little crustaceans of ink building up over time, actually fairly rapidly on my vanishing point. I have ink everywhere. Lovely. That is the sign of somebody who likes fountain pens. It's not always like that. But anyway, I'm going to wipe that off. Just try it. Now, this has a fine nib. The Prera has a medium nib. Right? So And it looks darker in the fine nib with the vanishing point than it does in the swatch, which I like. I like. In some ways, that's a bit too light for me, but it's a very nice ink to write with. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Hello, dog. Yeah. It's a nice ink. There's not any sheening or, there's no shimmer, of course. There's not a lot of line variation. Of course, that could also be the pen. If I put it in, say, a medium or a broader nib, maybe I'd see a bit more line variation, some characteristics. But overall, it's a very nice ink. It's very nice to, it's not overly wet. It's not overly dry. It's just a nice ink. And this is the Prera. Nice little pen. Has a medium nib, right? So, and ebony green. Now then, which do I prefer? They are different enough. The ebony green, once again, it's a very straightforward ink. There's no sheening, there's no shimmer, of course, there's no shading going on. It's just a straightforward ink. There's not much, there's not much happening in the line. It's just a nice, easy to read ink. Both of them are, actually. They're easy on the eye. They're easy to read. I like that about ink. Sometimes you can get an ink. I really got ink all over the back of that. Sometimes you can get an ink and there's a bit too much going on. And if I had to read like a whole page of it, look at me. If I had to read a whole page of it, it would be quite tiring. So I like a straightforward ink. And both of these are straightforward. Now, looking at it here, this is going to sound like this almost has a bit too much teal. The ebony green has a bit too much teal in it. I quite like the avocado in the fine nib of the vanishing point. Now, the only problem I had with it is, of course, that for whatever reason in the vanishing point, the avocado, little crustaceans build up. I've had that happen with Private Reserve's Orange Crush. And actually, that happened in any pen I put it in. You'd leave the pen for a little while, and you'd go to uncap it or whatever, and there'd be just little areas where the ink evaporated and the pigment accumulated on the nib. That's not a problem. You just get a wet paper towel or something, or dip it in water and clean it off, and it writes perfectly after that. It doesn't damage the nib or anything like that. But it's nice to, it's nice to pick up a pen and know that it's going to write straight out of the box. Now, I don't know if that happens a lot with that ink. I've only tried it in a few pens, and the only one that I had the problem with was the vanishing point. So, yeah. This is just dipping it in a Pilot Prera. Just to see how they look with the same nib, right? So the quick brown fox, I'm just going to go there. Now I'm going to clean that off. And then I'll dip it in the avocado. Try to get all that out. Yeah. Gotta admit, when I take the the cap off that ebony green is really pretty in the bottle. it, yeah. The avocado. The avocado is also very pretty in the bottle. And I am just a mess today. Dip that in. I am covered in ink. So there is more variation. As you can see, when you the top one being the ebony green and the bottom one being the avocado, you can see there's a bit more yellow in the avocado. It looks a bit more like, say, a spruce tree in some ways, and it looks like an avocado. The ebony green is a bit more, a bit more blue to it, possibly a bit more teal. Which do I like the most? If I had to keep one of these, if I was going to say cut down my collection of inks, I think I personally would probably stick with the avocado and let the ebony green go. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep them for now, of course. But yeah, I like the avocado. Now, I'm going to have to try it in a few other pens just to see what happens. Like, the only problem, for whatever reason, in the vanishing point, that little crustacean building up, and then you have to clean it off, and it's like, it's not a problem. It's just a slight inconvenience. Not even a major inconvenience, really. But just something I've noticed. Anyway, me fooling around with inks. So, which of these do you have you tried? Let me know in the comments if you're watching this video and you like it and you've gotten to this point in the video. Which is, oh, hello, cat. Oh, good thing that's dry. Anyway, which of these have you tried? Either of these or both of these? Which ones do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. Have you tried avocado, and have you tried ebony green, and do you have a preference? Personally, I'm probably going to say I prefer the avocado. It's just a matter of taste. But actually, ebony green is nice too. Anyway, I hope you have a nice day. If you're new around here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel where I pour ink on myself, oh my gosh, every day. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.